Tonight on SCTV3, we take a closer look at the school's annual literary magazine, the Alden Street Review.
Plus, see the impact of the 2024 Basketball Hall of Fame enshrinement weekend on the local community.
All that and more tonight on SCTV3. Hello and welcome to this edition of SCTV3 Weekly News. I'm Olivia Gentry.
And I'm Tucker Paquette. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with the Alden Street Review, the literary magazine that was first published back in 1987. And the project started as a collection of short stories from creative writing classes, but today it features works of fiction, original nonfiction, poetry, artwork, and photography. They pride themselves on an open door policy where all levels of writing experience are welcome. The editors for this year's edition talked to SCTV3's Patrick Fergus and I about their goals for this year's magazine and why students should consider submitting their pieces.
For a small group of literary-loving students, the cooler winds of fall signal the beginning stages of the Alden Street Review, an annual magazine published every spring semester.
There's a lot of people that love, being involved in the art process and whatnot, but they're really, scared of putting themselves out there. This is the opportunity to be a part of a collection of people just like that.
The magazine is devoted to showcasing the college community's creative output, serving as a collection of fiction, visionary nonfiction, poetry, artwork, and photography. Its publication features students from all walks of life, and for many, provides a much-needed output for their artistry. Such as James Uyar, a senior commuter student who found a community on campus when he joined the staff of the Alden Street Review 2 years ago.
I had been involved in high school in a literary magazine, and I sort of wanted to get back into doing that because I absolutely loved it. So I just kept going, and as the years progressed, I just took on more responsibility, and I love what I do. Yeah.
Though housed in the smaller scale English department, the magazine is always trying to expand their reach. In 2023, they were able to put their entire publication online for the first time in its nearly 40-year history. Justine Diamond, an associate professor of English, has been the faculty advisor for the magazine for a number of years and continues to see its value reflected in the pieces that are submitted.
For me, I enjoy it because it's a chance to talk about writing and to talk about what makes for effective writing in a creative form that's not in a classroom environment.
Each submission that is considered for review is anonymous, as the editors carefully analyze each piece with a focus on maintaining the author's voice and originality.
We want the voices of Springfield College to be emulated in our magazine, and so we try as much as possible just to keep that.
The submissions have to be relevant. It has to be very personal. I think we have to proofread everything by every members of the editors. That's how we jot down to our final list.
Past editions can be commonly found in Weiser Hall, where meetings typically take place, and are scattered on the shelves in common area tables. In an effort to gain more awareness for the upcoming edition, the staff took to posting signs across campus and holding a table in the Union in order to encourage submissions.
It's good to put focus on the artistic elements of being at college, and I know this is a very sports focused campus, but sometimes people love a good story or just a nice poem.
These submissions are not just for students, but for faculty, staff, and any other members of the Springfield College community that want to put forward their creative expressions. The editors have a very open door policy when it comes to the level of experience required for aspiring contributors.
But this is sort of like a place for them to unleash their creativity, kind of dip your toe into something that, maybe you don't have a lot of experience in, but you want to try writing or you want to try art. And it sort of gives, students who don't have the usual, outlet to express themselves. And I think that's really important, especially on a campus like this.
Over the next few months and into the new year, the editors will set off on working through submissions for the 2024 through 2025 issue, which are now officially open. The final deadline is February 1st of 2025, and work should be sent to Alden Street at springfieldcollege.edu.
Homecoming weekend kicks off this weekend as the college will be filled with former alums and their families. Saturday is the main day of the event, starting with a coffee social for former professors of humanics. After, there will be an alumni of color meet and greet, alumni softball game on Potter Field, and tailgating next to Stag Field to conclude the morning. Women's volleyball, football, and men's soccer are all in action in the afternoon. And the day is rounded out with the dedication of the Bugbee Family Pavilion at Stag and the alumni reward ceremony and reception. Kurt Asherman, who will be receiving the Tarbell Medallion Award for the year 2023, spoke about how his time at Springfield College impacted his life after college.
The primary impact the college had on me was to show me a level of compassion. I mean, compassion is different than sympathy. Compassion is when you see somebody who needs something, you do something about it. And there are 4 or 5 examples that I'll use this Saturday about that.
For those returning to campus this weekend, posted signs and Springfield public safety officers will direct you to a variety of parking options.
Springfield College implemented new PryNet and student employment application systems this week. The upgraded PryNet system might take a bit of getting used to, but offers a more simple look. When students first log in, they should select PryNet as their hub. Once people are into the system, the familiar link bar will be visible at the top of the screen. And this can be used for easy access to some frequently visited pages, such as Brightspace and Gmail. Also, students can use the icons on the left side of the screen to find any links or information they are looking for, including their student profiles and work orders. Meanwhile, the updated application system for student employment will allow students to browse available jobs and submit their applications and resumes. This can all be done on the website for the Office of Student Employment. Students can contact Springfield College Information and Technology Services on the first floor of the Learning Commons.
With midterms officially underway, students can seek support through the Academic Success Center. Located on the 3rd floor of the library, the Academic Success Center is a great resource to those students struggling with understanding a subject, feeling overwhelmed, or in need of help from a tutor. With the pressure of midterms, students are encouraged to advocate for themselves if they need help by using the Academic Success Center, especially when planning out a course load. Academic Services Coordinator Jillian Connors believes that students who need help with midterms and beyond should reach out soon.
Sure. So with midterms, they're kind of sporadic in the next couple weeks. We do recommend scheduling peer tutoring through TrackCloud, which you can find the link on the ASC website. And we recommend doing that soon because the spots do fill up. And if you're looking for something like academic coaching, that's something to kind of get into play now before you get too far into the semester.
If you are looking for help with midterms, reach out to the Academic Success Center via email at asc@springfieldcollege.edu to schedule an appointment.
The college hosted a Majors Fair this past Tuesday in the Dodge Room of the Campus Union. Students from every academic year had the opportunity to explore different academic programs, meet faculty, and ask questions about potential majors and minors. With representatives from different programs across the campus, the event provided a unique opportunity to get firsthand information and advice directly from faculty members and students. A first-year student Amanda Hutchinson, who is currently undeclared, shared how the Majors Fair was a big help in exploring her academic options.
I think it was really helpful to get to meet all the faculty and staff in different majors and hear about the different career paths that you can go along with those majors, because it's often kind of confusing to just think about, oh, biology or English, what am I going to do with that degree? So hearing about that was really helpful.
If you're interested in declaring a major or switching majors, you can contact the Academic Advising Center at advising@springfieldcollege.edu for more information.
This past Friday, the 2026 class of the Physician Assistant Program celebrated receiving their white coats. Receiving the white lab coat means that PA students can start working with patients in the hospital. The ceremony was held on the first floor of the Health Sciences Building, with nearly every seat filled. Students walked in from the building entrance and sat down in the middle of the room. Cohorts of the students stood up and prepared to walk across the stage. A certain person of their choosing that has helped them in their PA journey presented the students with their white coats. The ceremony has become a recent tradition in medical education. It signifies a large step in the PA students' careers.
We now send it over to Studio B, where Dante Iafredi has our local and national weather update. Dante?
Thank you, Tucker. It's beginning to look like that time of year again, as it's sweatshirt and sweatpants in the morning, but maybe some shorts in the afternoon, as you can see, for this next upcoming week. Mid-60s to high 60s to some low 70s all across the board. But the only downside we'll see here is the amount of 3s and 4s on your screen. But we do see a low of 50 on Wednesday. Expect a lot of sun, but some clouds going into that lower level of the week. But it should be a great week here in the campus of Springfield College and Springfield, Massachusetts as a whole. Now we move down to Florida and take a look at the continuing impact of Hurricane Milton. Tropicana Field, the home of the Tampa Bay Rays, was badly damaged Wednesday night as Hurricane Milton slammed the region. St. Petersburg Fire Rescue confirmed that there were no injuries in the incident. It was not immediately clear how much damage was inside the stadium. A drone video posted on social media showed the roof completely ripped to shreds with debris all over the field. Former Tampa Bay Buccaneers tight end Dave Moore also posted images of the damaged stadium on social media. It was reported that Tropicana Field had been hosting thousands of linemen and National Guard members as they prepared to respond to damage from the storm. Photos from earlier this week showed rows of cots covering the baseball field. Governor Ron DeSantis' press secretary Jeremy Redfern said in a social media post that the staging area had already been relocated before the roof was damaged. Back to you guys in Studio A.
After the break, see the best-selling author who's speaking on campus tonight.
Oh, Vanessa. You gonna text her back?
Nope. I'm high. I'm gonna hit the treadmill.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
We need to go meet the guys. I'm lit. Can you drive?
Nope. I'm high. How about they come over?
Where?
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Today, Springfield College will be hosting New York Times bestselling author Jason Reynolds. A part of the college's yearly Arts and Humanities Speaker Series, Reynolds will be making 2 separate appearances on campus today. The first event was a student discussion held in Marsh Memorial from 4 to 5 p.m. Over 35 students and some faculty shuffled into Marsh to be able to have a small and intimate conversation with Reynolds about his work. Reynolds described what it meant to speak about his career to the Springfield College community.
You know, it feels, it's exciting, but it's also just, it gives me hope. I remember being in college and wishing and waiting and hoping that somebody like me would have walked through those doors to say something to a kid like me.
Reynolds is speaking tonight at 7:30 in the Field House inside the Wellness and Recreation Complex. The event is open to the public, with Reynolds hosting a book signing shortly after.
Now, shifting over to our national headlines. the Texas company behind an oil spill near Huntington Beach is settling with the city for millions of dollars. But there's a dispute over who will get the financial compensation. SCTV3's Dante Iafredi takes a look at the story.
3 years after 25,000 gallons of oil leaked into the ocean from a pipeline off the coast of Huntington Beach, city leaders announced there's money coming to taxpayers from Texas-based Amplify Energy.
I want to make it very clear, this settlement between the city and Amplify is for the benefit of the city exclusively and no other party. To be clear, the city will not be required to make any payments or offer any share of this $5.25 million.
The oil spill, which resulted in the cancellation of the city's air show and a multi-million-dollar settlement with event operator Code 4, has divided the city council. Monday's news was no exception.
So what happened?
Dan Kalmick and 2 other council members in the minority say they learned about Monday's news conference around 7 a.m. but were not invited. They showed up anyway.
We believe that they gave away your taxpayer money. And the $5.25 million we received today, we used outside counsel for that. We don't know what the net number is yet for what that's going to come back to the city. That's your gross number, not your net number. And so we still have to pay Code 4. What we've contractually agreed to is $4.99 million. So the city taxpayers get nothing from this deal.
Gina Clayton Tarvin lives in Huntington Beach and serves on one of the city's school boards. In 2023, she won a lawsuit against the city, forcing it to release the amount of taxpayer dollars being spent to settle with the air show operator. She's calling the latest settlement another secret deal.
And it doesn't help the city of Huntington Beach at all because they've already paid out over $5 million to the air show operator. So you tell me, is this a good deal for taxpayers in Huntington Beach? I don't think so.
Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Dante Iafredi.
The city has no long-term contract with Pacific Air Show, but that settlement also gives it the exclusive right to host a show in Huntington Beach at least once a year for a decade, with the option to renew that right for up to 30 more years.
The Menendez brothers case is making headlines once again, this time with new evidence that might change the initial charge and reduce brothers' sentences. Countless members of the Menendez brothers family held a press conference on Wednesday, and the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office is officially reviewing the case. I've got you covered with the details. The Menendez brothers are making headline news again after 34 years behind bars. In the fall of 1989, Lyle and Eric Menendez were accused and later convicted of murdering their parents. The boys gave themselves up in a therapy session and were convicted of first-degree murder with a lifetime prison sentence. But in recent light, new evidence surrounding the case has come forward.
Is asking and have been asking the DA to look at the work they have done and resentence them, to support the resentencing.
Attorneys for the brothers say that the new evidence is a letter written by one of the brothers to another family member. Found in storage, the content of the letter details the extent of the abuse the brothers faced while living with their parents. This new revelation comes at a critical time for the Los Angeles justice system.
Because we have this DA making a decision. He is facing a very difficult re-election battle. And then we potentially have a different DA who, before there is a hearing, could come in, or before a judge makes a decision, could come in and say, I view this as different.
With this new evidence in play, the Menendez brothers' attorneys have asked for the charges to be vacated and a new hearing set for November.
Over 40 years of doing this, I have never seen the amazing exemplary rehabilitation and mitigation evidence that we have now presented to the DA's office.
Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Olivia Gentry. In light of this new evidence, the charges for the brothers could be lowered from first-degree murder to manslaughter. The DA's office has not yet decided whether to recommend a resentencing.
With polls showing the two major presidential candidates in a virtual tie 3 weeks before Election Day, both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are campaigning heavily in the battleground states. One of those states, Georgia, has seen record voter turnout at the early voting stations. SCTV3's Morgan Barbosa has the latest election updates.
Voters waited in line in the battleground state of Georgia Tuesday as early voting got underway.
This is a very important election.
We're really a critical state in that election, so I feel honored to be voting.
Former President Donald Trump, who still faces charges of election interference in the state from 2020, plans to rally there tonight.
Everything that we have done in the last 6 years has been for the voters, so that they have results that they can trust.
With the latest polls showing a neck-and-neck race, the presidential candidates spent Monday in Pennsylvania, the battleground with the most electoral votes at stake.
It's good to be back in Pennsylvania!
We win Pennsylvania. We win this great Commonwealth. We are going to win the whole ballgame.
Both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump addressed voters' concerns about the economy.
We're going to drill, baby drill. We're going to have so much energy. And we're going to bring prices down.
Under our plan, we will lower the cost on everything from healthcare to groceries.
They also both questioned each other's fitness for the job.
She is not a smart woman, that's true.
Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged.
This week, the Trump campaign is working to make inroads with suburban voters, particularly women, while Harris, who campaigned in Michigan Tuesday, will continue to try and boost turnouts among black men. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Morgan Barbosa.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to speak in Detroit, Michigan tomorrow night, and Vice President Harris is making multiple stops in Wisconsin in the coming days. When we come back, Samantha Paul has a Pride Sports recap on SCTV3 Sports Extra.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spot on this last one. There it is.
Keep going with it. Leo! They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
This Saturday, it's homecoming weekend, and the Springfield College Pride look to defend their home field as MIT travels to Stagfield for a 12 o'clock kickoff. The Pride are looking to win their fourth straight matchup versus the Engineers, as MIT enters this game with a 2-3 overall record and winless in conference play at 0-3, looking to secure that first one. Springfield, however, is 5-0 and 2-0 in conference play. Expect a big crowd for one of the final regular season home bouts for Springfield, as this game will be broadcasted live on Flow Sports.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of SCTV3 Sports Extra. I'm Samantha Paul, bringing you all the news on Pride Athletics. On Saturday, the men's soccer team tied with MIT 2-2, moving the Pride to 4-6-2 overall. The match started off even for both teams until midfielder Parker Thornton scored the first goal of the match in the 27th minute. Springfield held on to the lead going into halftime, but MIT rallied back and scored twice in less than 3 minutes to gain a 2-1 lead. The Pride was able to retaliate quickly as Thornton delivered his second goal of the afternoon. The score stayed knotted at 2 until the time ran out, resulting in a draw in this NEWMAC matchup. Springfield will look to add another game to the win column as they play home against WPI on Saturday at noon. 4 different student athletes tallied goals as women's soccer picked up a 4-0 shutout over Mount Holyoke. Springfield women's soccer team improved to 6-2-4 last night. As a team, the Pride posted a 26-2 advantage in shots and a 9-0 differential in corner kicks. The Pride saw both keepers split halves as Taryn Ryan and Mallory Forgutch combined for 2 saves on the night. Jen Walker and Meredith Healy powered the Springfield offense with 3 points in the win, while Molly Baxter and Olivia Rauchi accounted for Springfield's other 2 goals on the night. In total, 6 student athletes for the Pride picked up at least 1 point. Walker now ranks second in the NUMAC in both points and assists this fall. The women's volleyball team swept Amherst College on Thursday night. Looking to extend their 3-game win streak at the time, the Pride weren't playing around as they leapt to an 8-3 lead. The first set went to extra points and was ended by an Emily Keaveney block, winning the set for Springfield. The Pride went on to dominate the second set, only allowing the Mammoths to score 12 points. Amherst took the lead in the third set, but Springfield rallied back and won the match after Maeve Volt slammed the ball into a pair of Mammoth defenders. The Pride play Mount Holyoke College on Saturday at noon, a team they are 29-0 against all time. Now we'll be taking a look at this week's home and away schedules. Starting off the home schedule is number 25 ranked football taking on MIT this Saturday at noon as they look to stay undefeated. Nearby, women's volleyball looks to get back in the win column against Mount Holyoke, also at noon. Later that day, men's soccer plays WPI at 3 p.m. Tuesday has 2 home games as field hockey faces off against Wheaton at 6 p.m., while women's volleyball plays Wellesley at 7 p.m. As for the away schedule, this Saturday at 10 a.m., cross country will travel to Connecticut College and take part in their final race before the NUMAC Championships. Later that day, field hockey travels to Babson at 12 p.m. At 1 p.m., women's soccer plays their last non-conference game of the season versus Emerson. On Wednesday, the men's soccer team takes on Babson at 3 p.m., a team they haven't beat since 2018. Wrapping up our schedule preview is women's soccer away versus WPI at 4 p.m. To see every team's schedule, go to SpringfieldCollegePride.com. That'll be it for this week's edition of SCTV3 Sports Extra. Tune in next week for more sports coverage. Back to you guys in Studio A.
Stick around after the break to see the highlights from the 2024 Basketball Hall of Fame Enshrinement Weekend.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
As many from the area may know, Springfield is home to the Basketball Hall of Fame. This weekend, the Hall of Fame had its yearly ceremony to welcome the new 2024 class, right down the road from our campus. Shane Barron was able to check out the weekend-long celebration of basketball's very best.
Last weekend, 13 people reached the top of the basketball world as the Hall of Fame held its annual induction ceremony, with the headline event being the speeches and orange jacket presentation. For these individuals being honored, it was a jam-packed weekend.
Prior to the induction at the Hall of Fame in Springfield, Mass. On Sunday, an event was held here at Mohegan Sun Casino in Uncasville, Connecticut, in which members of the media got to speak to the players one-on-one.
Taking place in the casino's cabaret theater, media personnel, family members, and even a superfan attended the closed-door event. Hosted by former NBA star and NBA analyst Dennis Scott, each inductee fielded questions from Scott and the media. The conference had many noteworthy moments with some laughs, passionate statements, and even tears when discussing recently passed Jerry West, aka The Logo, was also a member of the 2024 Hall of Fame class.
Jerry was always kind of there, being that guy that would help you through things. And, you know, the day that I found out he had passed away was probably the hardest day of my life. But he's truly missed. But you know what? How we carry on his legacy is by the things he taught us, is the way that we live.
It wasn't about that, because I still felt I was willing to put the work in at 42, 43 years old to play. And it felt good to be able to go on the court and a 19, 21, 25-year-old come in there and, like, man, he's old. I was like, well, let's line it up, see what I still have. And it felt good to be able to do that.
Sunday evening was the main event, with the enshrinement ceremony taking place in downtown Springfield at Symphony Hall. With such a big occasion happening right here in town, I took a trip down to the hall and met with Vice President of Philanthropy at the Hall of Fame, Scott Zaffaletto, to find out more about the special night.
Well, overall, the measurement to that is how people respond and how they really comments we received back from our Hall of Famers, number one, and other guests, our board, our VIP guests, and just the general public who come and visit. And overwhelmingly, 98% of our guests had a great experience. When people come into town to participate, to celebrate with their colleagues and friends, it's not just the Hall of Famer or Hall of Famers that are coming into town. It's their family and friends celebrating them. So, the massive. I mean, we sell out all the hotels downtown. The restaurants benefit. The economic impact is considerable.
As for Scott's favorite part of the weekend, it's remained the same for his 25 years working here.
I always love the enshrinement speeches. I love watching them and sitting there and taking that all in, because those individuals that are being enshrined, they have such inspirational stories. And that's really what we're all about, is telling those stories. We preserve the game. That's our big piece of our mission.
Making sure I made the effort to learn a little bit about a lot of things, which would open up doors and opportunities in life. But Mom, look at me now. I love you. Woo, got it.
Those stories are so meaningful and hopefully really inspirational.
After a very successful Basketball Hall of Fame enshrinement weekend, be on the lookout for other events here held at the Basketball Hall of Fame. For SCTV3, I'm Shane Barron.
Among the former players, legendary superfans like Spike Lee and Billy Crystal were also honored with their own exhibit.
That'll do it for this week's show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Remember to tune in next Thursday for more news and sports coverage.
Same time.
Same place.